Warren Buffett's net worth is $114 billion. But what if I told you he's actually flat broke? You see, this isn't the typical type of wealth that you normally hear about. But what if I were to tell you that it's actually more important than money, and you and I actually have a lot more of it than he does? Okay, so at this point, you're probably wondering two things. One, Devin, how many Quaaludes did you take before you filmed this? And two, how are you and I possibly richer than Warren Buffett?
Good question.
You see, everyone in our society is obsessed with money. Everyone's chasing that higher salary or that extra digit in their bank account, and that's fine. Money is a good thing. It allows us to buy food and shelter and do all sorts of good things in life. But we do tend to place an over-importance on the asset of money. But the weird thing is that it's not even the most valuable asset that we actually have. You might think that I'm crazy, but to prove this point to you, let me ask you a question. Warren Buffett, very rich, right? We determined that earlier on. $114 billion rich. Great. Okay, so imagine I have a magic wand. Let's say this is my magic wand, and I am granting you a wish. And I ask you if you would like to switch places with Warren Buffett. You get all 114 billion of his dollars. You get all of his assets, all of his possessions, all of his connections. You can literally buy anything you want in the world. You could do anything you want in the world. You have all that money. Sounds like a pretty good deal, right? Oh, right, sorry. Here's the catch though. You're now 92 years old. Would you still make the switch? Well, I'll tell you my answer. Fuck that. And I assume that that would be your answer too. And so why is that? If money really is as important as we tell ourselves it is, why wouldn't we make the switch? Well, if you're watching this, the answer is pretty obvious. Yeah, you'd be an old geezer, a coffin dodger, unspring chicken. I don't know if that's a thing. Maybe I just made that up. But yeah, you'd be very old. You see, I wouldn't want to take that deal because I'm 25, he's 92. If I switched places with him, I would be kissing away 67 years of my life. That's terrifying. And so when you put this situation in front of someone, it becomes very clear that money is not our most important asset. No. It's time. Time is the single most important asset that we possess. And I got some good news for you, because if you're under 50 years old, you're a billionaire. Just not a regular billionaire. I mean, you're still broke, but you're a time billionaire. You see, a regular billionaire, that's someone who has $1 billion worth of assets to their name. Very boring, I know. But a time billionaire is someone who actually has 1 billion seconds left in their life to live. For those of you who don't want to do the math, 1 billion seconds is about 31 years. Given the average life expectancy of 81 years in Canada, if you are 20 years old, you have about 2 billion seconds left in your life. And if you're 50, you still have 1 billion seconds left. And so although you may not be money rich, you are extremely time rich. But Warren, poor old Warren. Warren is 92 years old. Given the average life expectancy of 81 years, Warren is actually 350 million seconds in time debt, which is terrifying to think about because unlike money, time debt literally can never be paid off. Once you've lost that time, you can never get it back. The issue is that nobody really gives a shit about being a time billionaire.
In our culture, we're so obsessed with money that when I see sometimes 20-year-olds, the thought I had was they probably have 2 billion seconds left, but they aren't relating to themselves as time billionaires.
And this is such a shame because time truly is the most important asset that we have. You can always go and make more money.
Give me money. Money me. Money now. Me a money needing a lot now.
You can negotiate a raise. You can start a business. You can steal money from the local kid's lemonade stand. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. Unless the kid's being a dick, then fuck him. But seriously, there are a near infinite number of ways that you can actually make money and increase the number of money that you have. What am I saying? Increase the amount of money that you have. But there are quite literally 0 ways for you to increase the amount of time that you have. But one of the most valuable things about time is that it allows you to actually gain life experiences. Quickly think back for me to one of your favorite days in the last year. If you can't narrow it down to one, think of any one of your favorite days. Got it? Cool. I am willing to bet a large amount of money that you did not pick last payday, or the day you got your bonus, or the day that you picked up the new watch that you wanted. No, you probably picked a day that had an amazing experience tied to it. Maybe you saw your favorite band live for the first time. Maybe you met someone very special that day.
Holy shit.
Maybe you had a really good time with your friends that you haven't seen in a while. In life, it's always going to be the experiences that you remember, not the money that you earned. And I'm not trying to say that money is useless. You absolutely need money to live life and buy a lot of these experiences. But what I am saying is that the time that you can then use to actually go and get these life experiences is far, far more important than money could ever be. Think about how much someone on their deathbed would be willing to pay to get another day with their family and friends, or to watch that next sunset, or to go on a drive in a car on a really sunny day. These are the things that more time can buy you, that money simply cannot. And I think that that's what this whole concept of being a time billionaire is really about. It isn't to walk around and flex the fact that you're a time billionaire. I think that it's so that you can understand the important and finite nature of our time, so that you can go out and get life experiences that are actually going to fulfill you at the end of your life. Because the truth is that people don't realize how little time they have left until it's far too late. People constantly live their lives in anticipation of the future. But when it ends up coming, they just reset it and then pick a new point in the future to live for. As a result, they end up missing out on a lot of valuable things that they wanted to do, but no longer can. And you see this a lot with very rich people. They end up using all of that wealth that they accumulated to actually try and buy back the experiences that they missed while they were building that wealth.
You know, and there's certain activities now that I would pay an inordinate sum of money to get certain experiences that I gave up when I was saving.
Well, like,
my friend borrowed money from a loan shark and went backpacking through Europe in his 20s. How many millions would I pay to have taken that trip right now, to go back in time? People say, well, it's easy because you have millions right now. I would just say there's a significant percentage of my net worth that would be outsized that I give up to go back.
So what can we do about this? What can we do to make sure that we are spending our time in the best way possible? Well, one way is to understand something called a memory dividend.
You don't just get pleasure from when you have the experience, right? Say you're going to go fishing with the fellas, but you also have a positive experience when you recall that fishing experience. And over those years, that is going to provide you little pieces of fulfillment as well. And that's called the memory dividend. So the same way you get interest in the bank that's paid quarterly, you get a memory dividend that provides you fulfillment each time you recall and discuss that story.
Instead of delaying that trip or that experience because you don't really want to spend the money, you're worried about spending the money, or you think you could potentially invest it and get a better return somewhere else, realize that one of the best places you can invest that money is trying to get life experiences as early on in your life as possible, so that they will last a lifetime and they will actually get better as time goes on. Consider the possibility that the reason you're working and gaining money is so that you can actually do the things that you're deciding to pass up on now because of work and because of money. Another method I use is the Memento Mori calendar. You can see it over there. This is something that I keep on my desk to remind me that this thing that we call life is not going to last forever. When I look at this chart, I think about how cool it is to see how much time I actually have left in my life. But then I quickly realized that I am not guaranteed a single second of it. I could literally step out of my house tomorrow and Regina George it and get smoked by a bus and have it all end. And understanding the fact that it is going to end, life is going to end at some point, makes it so incredibly stupid to live solely for the future. So yes, you're richer than Warren Buffett, like much, much richer than him. That $114 billion that Warren Buffett has that you don't, well, it can buy him anything that he wants, except the one thing that you have, which is more time. He literally could not trade in every single cent to his name for another 10 years of life. And I bet if you asked him if he would do that, he probably would. When you start to understand how many old rich people would pay fortunes to be in the exact position that you're in, you start to become a little bit more grateful for life. The truth is that none of your time wealth means anything if you are miserable every single day. If you're working some job you hate, saving up for some future thing that you're never going to do, and not aware of your precious limited time, well then all the time you have means absolutely nothing. And if you want to live a happy, fulfilled life, then that's something that you're going to have to change. But I've got some good news for you. You've got the time. Way more than you probably thought you had. So go and do something about it. And if this idea of the value of our time is something that interests you, well, you should probably check out this video right here. I made it about one of my favorite books ever, and it's about time management. If you like this video, I promise you, you are going to like that one. This book is like nothing you've ever read before.